It is with great pleasure that we return to the Brain Crypto channel. The gloomy month of June is behind us, San Diego is basking in sunshine, and the reality behind the digital revolution is now plainly apparent to everyone. I only ask that you all show your interest in Ripple and XRP by liking, sharing, and commenting with an X if you found the video intriguing. Presented here is RLUSD, a stable coin that, when coupled with the XRP ledger and its one-to-one USD backend, provides stability and transparency. Later this year, you'll be able to download Ethereum. What they call it is the real coin or Ripple coin, and we'll explain what it means briefly. More than a dozen senators from both parties met in Washington, D.C., over the past 2 days to talk about how to regulate the cryptocurrency industry in a way that is both open and honest, and how to protect crypto users. Bringing House Bill 21 up for consideration in the Senate has received strong bipartisan support after it passed House. Seeing that the crypto vote is making a difference is encouraging. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong is one of my favorite guys ever. He reminds me of a warrior. Personally, I think he is a fierce advocate for the industry. Plus, we know we've seen him on the Hill before. I was driven to share an article I came across when reading FinTech Finance News this morning with other people who have digital assets, like you and me. Personally, I don't think anybody else noticed this. Having said that, the Singapore Innovation Center, the Bank of International Settlements, and the Monetary Authority of Singapore have all contributed to this piece by sharing the design for a climate risk platform that is currently in the works. Also brought up were the effects of climate change. How does the task force at the Bank for International Settlements look like in reality? The world's financial markets are in dire need of a proactive and flexible policy. Give an explanation of Ripple. How incredible isn't the interdependence of all things? People like me who pay close attention will never, ever forget this. They can detest us all they want because our goals have never been clearer. Haters will hate eventually. Someone will say that we're totally insane. However, I make sure that those responsible are held to account when they fail to recognize the obvious. Such people are completely bonkers. Things are spiraling out of control when Justin overhears her mentor announcement that trade in US dollars and euros on the Moscow Stock Exchange in Russia has been officially halted. We are aware of that. The Brics countries' actions in response to the Chinese president's call for a more diversified and inclusive internet economy are well known. I am fascinated by the XRPL Open Protocol, which is permissionless. Because of this, it can't identify borders, nations are meaningless to it. The digital backbone of the forthcoming monetary system will be provided by this worldwide network. It contains SWIFT, real US dollars, real British pounds, real Japanese yen, and so on. How can we, in light of the present situation, link up with a nationwide digital asset network that links all banks including the largest together? We may not be experts on every bank in the world, but we do know a lot about the huge international banks that they have worked with or are working with. While thousands of banks have processed transactions using XRPL, the exact number of those who have utilized the cryptocurrency is likely unknown because their non-disclosure agreements are secret. Since 2018, the first year we saw Saudi Arabia's connections with Ripple, when the Saudi Arabian Central Bank teamed with Ripple, we have, of course, been discussing Saudi Arabia and its ties to Ripple. The failure to establish a replacement deal for the 50-year-old petrodollar accord has forced Saudi Arabia to diversify the currencies it uses to trade oil, including the US dollar, euros, yen yuan, and the Chinese RMB. The most recent SEC report, co-authored by Eleanor Terra and Gary Gensler of the CFTC, was also released tomorrow. At 10 a.m., the chair will address the Senate Appropriations Committee. The SEC has requested that I verify 2 issues about their investigation into the expected demands on the budget for 2025, and I will, of course, keep you all informed of any additional developments. We will be able to ask the chair and vice chair policy questions. Digital assets will probably come up. The CFTC has sought about $2.6 billion, and I will keep you all updated in real time. Just over 400 million senators will be invited to participate. Today, stock prices soared due to the following news story: the unexpected drop in US inflation reaches 3.3%. But the Fed has decided to keep interest rates unchanged and has hinted that only one rate cut is possible. It was already widely anticipated that reducing interest rates would be necessary to stimulate the economy. Additionally, that will lead to an increase in pricing. The consumer price index is currently sitting at 3.3. Inflation is much higher, according to their claims. The data keeps piling on top of years of already inflated pricing, and 38 consecutive months of inflation above 3% have made insurance, transportation, hospital auto repairs, power, and many other essentials excessively expensive. As a result of inflation's cumulative effects, half of Americans think we're in a recession, and everything are getting more expensive. Since many individuals lack the means to save up for and invest in digital assets such as XRP, you should feel proud of yourself if you are even somewhat engaged in the cryptocurrency market. Integrating with other technologies is the key to blockchains and the internet's widespread use. The year after that, as more and more companies jump on the blockchain bandwagon, it makes me delighted to see that the endeavor is finding traction. What excites me most about this year is not the year itself, but rather the abstraction layers that people are building to make these technologies more accessible and user-friendly. This is really important for the industry as a whole, and the XRPL in particular, so I'm curious to see how things play out. So, they are vital importance. Whether you're known as Tom or Weller, you're making great strides, and you need a compliant, transparent free stable currency, the real deal, quivering steady coin. Who is now the product manager at Stellar and was formerly employed by Media Lab. Distribute this immediately to all of your acquaintances. Please, the genuine Bradlin, Kenny. Behold, the dwelling. Starlight is a decentralized blockchain platform that can issue actual US dollars in 2024 and has a distinct product market fit for practical applications. It warrants investigation. Totally, I feel the same way as you do. Representative David Schwartz of Ripple can help with XRPL APACs, and financial innovation is spearheading outstanding. Pay attention to this extensive roster. Check out this big list of products. I am quite proud of their 12-year infrastructure project. More and more students are joining daily. Our partnerships with financial institutions are accelerating our growth, and the Digital Pound Foundation has recently made statements about the USD launch, all of which are exciting developments. Ripple, the stablecoin sponsored by the Digital Pound Foundation, has obtained conventional custody and trust, as announced yesterday by the organization. This group has strong roots, and now their CEO, Jack McDonald of Conventional Custody, is doubling down and making excuses. A partnership has been formed between the software vendor and DDC. R3 will be utilizing our Trio to introduce the EN product. The DTCC group processes over 2.3 quadrillion transactions daily, whereas our 3 XRP blockchains process about 100,000 delayed transactions. The distributed ledger technology developed by Corda is now being acquired by us. You guys, I couldn't help but laugh out loud at this. Perhaps you're familiar with this. Are you familiar with this? I'm uncertain. Greg was absolutely correct. Distribute this tweet to other people. June 16, 2011, precisely. Continuing, he said that I should have known better than to sell my 1,700 Bitcoin for 30 cents rather than the 6 pennies they were truly worth. The video ends there. If you could subscribe and give my channel a like, it would mean the world to me. Please go, I'm very grateful.